What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are having a great start to your day the way that I surely am, because smell that in the air. It is trade season, folks, for the MLB trade deadline by July 30th. And rest assured, you're going to see so many videos like this leading up to that point. Really feels awfully similar to the offseason where the Mets were showing interest in endless players to weigh all their options. And once again, they have reportedly showed interest here in a trade option starting pitching-wise, according to SNY. And that is going to be, yes, Tyler Anderson, a pitcher that we actually discussed on the channel as a potential depth move back on June 5th in a previous video, so check that out if you haven't. But that's what we'll be bringing down in today's video. Everything there is to know about the Pittsburgh Pirate Tyler Anderson and his game, what he would bring to the New York Mets potentially, why the Mets should go down this route and why they possibly shouldn't, and so much more. If you guys end up enjoying this kind of Mets content and you want to see more great Mets content like this, please do not hesitate from smashing that like and subscribe button, sharing this video with your friends, on the notification bell, all those great things. Make sure to leave me your thoughts in the comments below. Helps out the algorithm, of course. Thank you all so much for the continued support, guys. But enough of me talking, let's jump right into today's video. As we previously discussed him on the channel, Tyler Anderson is very much a hot commodity leading up to the MLB trade deadline to bring starting pitching depth to any team that inquires on him. And as we see, it is now the New York Mets. The 31-year-old Southpaw, who was originally drafted in the first round, 20th overall, back in 2011 by the Colorado Rockies, has split time with not just the Rockies, and also in 2020 had his first year and only year with the San Francisco Giants, pitching to right around the same ERA he currently is now in his first year with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the Pirates went into this year with a full intention to hopefully get something good out of Anderson, with the possibility of dealing him by the deadline. And sure enough, that is exactly what is happening. As you can see from his advanced numbers through Baseball Savant, has been the higher percentile in walk percentage, which is awesome to see. Fastball spin rate is up, which again is nothing too alarming considering he's not using any sticky substance from being checked by numerous umps throughout the game. And also his chase rate is up, which is a little interesting given the fact that he has a lower actual K rate per 9 than what he had last time we discussed him on the channel by a decent margin, going from 8+ K per 9 to now 7 or so K per 9. All right, guys, before we get into further analysis on Tyler Anderson and his connection right now with the New York Mets, let's talk about how he got there, because over the past 24 hours, it has officially been reported through Jon Heyman that the Mets are one of the teams, surprise, surprise, showing interest in Kris Bryant. So as we talked about him in a video a week ago, make sure to check that out, guys, the potential there, what the Mets would possibly have to give up, and if Kris Bryant would be the only piece in a potential deal, because the Mets have a lot of different avenues they can go down, and they're all blockbuster related, which is awfully exciting, very much like the offseason and everything leading up to that point. But now getting into Tyler Anderson here, and why has this been reported now through SNY? Well, you also have to look at the Mets if they want to stay under the luxury tax. Now, granted, I don't think that is necessarily a complete priority on their part, but that is something I'm sure that they are weighing and taking into consideration. They can land Kris Bryant without giving up the actual, when it comes to the money that they're dealing with, they can stay under the luxury tax threshold, but they will probably be in a bind to still try to land a guy like Jose Barrios unless they give up some contracts currently on the roster. So while it's not out of the realm of possibility, the Mets could go out and have a deadline like no other, landing both Bryant and Barrios. But for now, we're going to go with the assumption that if they do not go down that route, that is where a guy like Tyler Anderson comes in with only 1 year at $2.5 million on his contract. He's a rental then, so you can do whatever you want after this year's end with him. He has depth to your rotation. Again, perfect southpaw for what the Mets are currently needing here. They need at least one lefty. That's usually how rotations work in this league. That's why they've had David Pearson and at times Joey Fuego, Joey Lucchesi as well. But with both of them being out with injury, Lucchesi's out for the year with Tommy John, as we know, and Pearson's still not healthy. You would like to add a southpaw in there, and Tyler Anderson has been proven to be serviceable and would bring a lot to the Mets as a more of a depth option as their fifth starter. And then if the Mets find themselves not just with Carlos Carrasco, who's looking really great in his rehab stint with the Brooklyn Cyclones, pitching 2 scoreless innings, he should be back soon. If he's looking good and back in the rotation, full on going soaring for the Mets, better than expected. And if Noah Syndergaard somehow, some way comes back in this rotation towards the end of the year and actually performs well, then you can push a guy like Anderson to the bullpen or be a long reliever, however you want to get creative, because once it's playoff time, with the assumption the Mets make playoffs, everything changes then. So they're weighing their options here. Tyler Anderson makes so much sense in my mind. That's why we talked about him in a video going back to all the way in the beginning of June. I looked at the Pirates roster and I said Tyler Anderson stands out big time. He's a rental, he's a southpaw, and he's been pitching well, better than what he has earlier in the season. And no less, he had a good outing against the Mets when I was in attendance, no less, in the first game of a doubleheader this past weekend. At the time recording this, Anderson went 5 innings pitched, gave up 2 runs, and actually got a run back because he had an absolute bomb of a home home run. So off Marcus Stroman, no less. But Tyler Anderson, I'm not against him whatsoever. Should the Mets want to go more down this route, they're showing interest, they're weighing their options, and rest assured, everything is going to be hectic. You're going to hear reports left and right with the Mets and who they're showing connections with leading up to the trade deadline. And I assure you, I'll be here. We will discuss it. We'll be doing live streams and all that fun stuff coming forward. Trust me, guys, this looks like this could be an MLB trade deadline for the Mets to remember, very much so like this historic offseason that they've had with all the players that they landed or at least showed interest in. So again, guys, let me know your thoughts and comments below. How you feel about Tyler Anderson potentially landing with the Mets, and do you think that would be the only starting pitcher the Mets would land, or could you even see them shooting for the stars and trying not to just get Anderson, in which you're not going to have to give up much at all for Mudayata? You're not going to give up a top prospect, nothing like that, especially him being a rental. But also a guy like Jose Barrios, could they possibly land both? I'm not sure, but rest assured, they do have plenty of options here, guys. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And also, I just want to let you guys know that tomorrow, Saturday, at the time of recording this, I will be in attendance for the Mets and Pirates game, in which that'll hopefully not get rained out. It looks like that there is going to be some storms, but no less, I will be in attendance. I'll be in the front row right at the Mets dugout on the visitors side, so definitely look for me there if anyone's in attendance. I can't wait to check out PNC Park for the first time. Fitting time with all this Pittsburgh Pirates connection, no less, they're in a series with them. Go figure, right? But guys, let me know your thoughts down below, and if you ended up enjoying this kind of Mets content and you want to see more great Mets content like this, please do not hesitate from smashing that like and subscribe button, sharing this video with your friends, pull out the notification bell, all those great things. Thank you so much for the continued support, guys. So excited. MLB trade deadline is officially here within the next 2 weeks, and boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to unravel in those coming days. So thank you again, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below, and let's go Mets, baby.